Let me ask you something, my dear brother. When was the last time you said no and meant it? When was the last time you walked away, not out of pride, but out of principle? When was the last time you stood still and said, "This is where I end, and this is where others must meet me, or they do not enter my life"? You see, many men today feel lost, confused, exhausted by modern dating. You give and give, hoping your worth will be seen. You tolerate behavior that drains your energy. You chase women who disrespect you and wonder why you feel empty. But what if I told you that women don't respect men without boundaries? What if I told you that the key to attracting a high-value woman is not in what you say, but in what you allow and what you refuse to tolerate? Boundaries are a man's most attractive feature. They say, "I know myself. I protect my energy. I don't need you, but I'll choose you if you respect my standards." If you've been chasing connection and ending up feeling used, ignored, or misunderstood, it's time to stop. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are willing to stand for. So today, I'll give you 6 powerful boundaries that, when you put them in place, will instantly change how high value women see you and how you feel about yourself. Let's begin. Self-respect is the foundation of your entire dating experience, because a woman will never respect you more than you respect yourself. The moment you start betraying your own values to keep a woman around, you've already lost. And here's the hard truth: high-value women can sense that energy. They may not always articulate it, but they feel it deeply. If you are the kind of man who tolerates disrespect, poor communication, or flackiness because you're afraid of losing her, you immediately lose her respect, and attraction fades quickly. Self-respect means you know your worth before she does. It means you don't wait for a woman to validate you or make you feel enough. You show up already knowing you are enough, already whole, already standing on solid ground. You don't tolerate behavior that disturbs your peace, diminishes your dignity, or dishonors your time. This doesn't mean you're arrogant or cold. It means you have a quiet, confident clarity about who you are and what you deserve. When a woman tests you, and trust me, every woman tests boundaries at some point, you don't panic, beg, or react emotionally. You observe, respond calmly, and hold your line. For example, if she speaks to you harshly, if she belittles your goals, or if she becomes passive-aggressive when she doesn't get her way, you don't enable it. You don't argue or escalate. You calmly say, "I'm not going to engage with this energy," and you create distance if necessary. That's power. That's what makes her see you differently from every other man she's ever dated. Because most men crumble when tested. They give in, apologize unnecessarily, or try to fix everything just to keep her happy. A man with self-respect teaches her how to treat him simply by how he treats himself. This boundary becomes your invisible signature. I don't chase approval. I don't cling. I don't tolerate disrespect. I love myself enough to walk away. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you embody this self-respect, you become magnetic to women who value emotional maturity, leadership, and inner strength. A high-value woman doesn't want a pushover. She's waiting for a man who knows where he stands. And when you draw this boundary, you finally give her a reason to stand with you. Time is the one resource you will never get back. And how you treat your time tells a woman everything about how you value yourself. You may think that being always available makes you more attractive. You might believe that replying instantly to every text or dropping your plans just to meet her will make her appreciate you more. But here's the truth: the more you make yourself easily available, the less she values your presence. Women are intuitive. A high-value woman can feel when a man has no sense of purpose, no structure, no schedule that demands his attention. And when you hand over your time too easily, you unconsciously communicate that your life revolves around her, and that's not attractive. The boundary of time means you respect your schedule first. You have a life worth living with goals, passions, friends, commitments. Your world does not pause because she reaches out. When she texts, you reply thoughtfully, but not instantly unless it aligns with your flow. When she suggests meeting last minute, you check your schedule first, not your emotions. If your time is already committed, you politely decline or propose an alternative. This isn't about being cold or playing games. It's about showing her that your time is valuable because your life is valuable. And here's the beautiful paradox again: when you protect your time, you create a subtle scarcity. You make her feel that being with you is a privilege, not a default. A high-value woman loves a man who has direction, structure, and discipline. She wants to know that she is entering a world that is already full, not trying to fill a void in you. So the next time you feel the urge to drop everything just to accommodate her, pause. Ask yourself, does this serve my bigger vision? Is this how I want to value my time? The man who guards his time signals leadership, and leadership is deeply attractive. Remember, when your time feels earned, not given away, you communicate self-respect without saying a word. You become a man of substance, a man who moves with purpose. And that's exactly the kind of man who effortlessly attracts a high-value woman. Emotional control is one of the most underrated but powerful boundaries a man can possess, and it separates men who struggle in dating from men who command quiet respect and deep attraction. In today's dating culture, many men live in a constant state of emotional reactivity. She doesn't reply to your message, and your mind spirals. Is she losing interest? Did I say something wrong? Should I double text? She pulls back slightly, and suddenly you're desperate to fix it, to chase, to seek reassurance. But here's the truth, and it's hard but liberating: a high-value woman is not attracted to a man she can emotionally destabilize. She desires a man who is grounded, a man who can feel the swirl of emotions but isn't governed by them. The boundary of emotional control is about responding, not reacting. It's about learning to breathe through discomfort, to pause when you feel triggered, and to speak with calm clarity instead of insecurity. When she tests you, and trust me, testing happens even unconsciously, she's looking for evidence of your strength. If you collapse emotionally when things get difficult, she won't feel safe around you. Emotional mastery looks like this. When she's distant, you remain steady. When she's upset, you listen without needing to defend. When she challenges your opinion, you hold your ground without aggression. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means processing them with maturity. You may feel disappointed, confused, even hurt at times, but your emotions don't control your next move. And when you show this calm strength, you become irresistibly attractive. Women crave emotional safety, but emotional safety begins with you being safe with yourself. You become a place of peace, leadership, and consistency, even in moments of conflict or uncertainty. So when she withdraws, you don't chase. When she disrespects, you don't argue. When she triggers, you don't lose your center. Instead, you embody a calm, masculine presence that says, "I'm okay, no matter what you do. I am in charge of me." This is the boundary of emotional control, and it's what allows a high-value woman to relax into your leadership and deeply respect your masculine energy. And respect is where true attraction begins. Your sexual energy is sacred, and yet so many men waste it, giving it away recklessly in the pursuit of validation, conquest, or temporary pleasure. But what you may not realize is this: women, especially high-value women, can feel when a man is careless with his sexual energy. They can sense desperation. They can sense when you see sex as a way to prove your worth rather than as an intimate, meaningful connection shared with a woman who has earned her place in your life. The boundary of sexual energy is about discipline. It's about mastery. It's about valuing your body and intimacy so deeply that you don't let just anyone have access to you simply because they show you attention. Too many men think that the way to win a woman is to pursue sex quickly, to close the deal, to move things to the bedroom as fast as possible. But this reveals a deeper insecurity. You're looking for her approval, her surrender, her desire as proof that you're enough. The truth is this: when you are selective with your sexual energy, when you move slowly and intentionally, when you communicate that intimacy with you must be earned, you become instantly more attractive. A high-value woman respects a man who respects himself in this way. She feels safer around a man who is not led by lust but by values. She admires a man who doesn't need sexual validation to feel powerful or masculine, but who chooses to share intimacy only with someone who aligns with his standards. This boundary requires you to think differently. You don't chase meaningless hookups. You don't use sex to fill an emotional void. You protect your energy from women who see intimacy as a game or a tool for manipulation. And paradoxically, when you carry yourself this way, you draw women closer, not because you're withholding, but because you are signaling self-mastery. Sexual discipline is magnetic. It tells her, I value myself. I am in control of my urges, and I only share my body with someone who respects my mind, my mission, and my life. This is masculine energy at its finest, and it will attract women who desire depth, not just attention. Most men today don't know how powerful it is to have standards, not preferences, but true, non-negotiable standards. And here's why that matters. If you don't know what you stand for, you will fall for anyone who simply gives you attention. A high-value woman is not looking for a man who accepts anything and everything just to avoid being alone. She's looking for a man who knows what he expects from a relationship and is courageous enough to walk away when those expectations aren't met. The boundary of standards is about defining what you will and will not tolerate, not out of arrogance, but out of deep self-respect. For example, if loyalty matters to you, then disloyalty, even subtle forms like flirting with other men in your presence, is something you calmly but firmly address. If honesty matters to you, then manipulation or evasion is unacceptable, and you don't ignore the red flags just because you're physically attracted or emotionally invested. Many men are afraid to set standards because they fear they'll scare her away. But here's the reality. The right woman won't be scared off. She'll be drawn in. Because a man with standards is a man who leads. He's a man who isn't afraid to say, I'm looking for something specific. I don't just want anyone. I want someone who aligns with my values, my vision, and my mission. This doesn't mean your standards are about controlling her. It means they're about honoring yourself. The more clearly you define your standards, the easier it becomes to filter out women who are not ready for the kind of relationship you seek. You stop wasting time, energy, and emotion on situations that were never going to fulfill you. When you communicate